waited all year, and finally it's here. For 30 straight days, it's a month-long movie craze. That's right, I'm ready to post a podcast each day. I watched a movie, and now I've got stuff to say. 'Cause movie month is here, yes dear, in case I wasn't clear. 30 movies, films that I've never seen. Cast, podcast, from first day of month to last. In June, all June, this is my movie month too. Been doing this for 12 years. I'll pause for applause and cheers. Okay, well, maybe not. But please follow all month long. 'Cause movie month is here, yes dear, in case I wasn't clear. 30 movies, films that I've never seen. Cast, podcast, from first day of month to last. In June, all June. Listen and subscribe is what you should do. Apple, Spotify, and yes, on YouTube. Listen and subscribe, come on, don't be rude. Listen and subscribe all June.
I like noise, so I'm living where I am. I like the noise and confusion of a traffic jam. I like the sound of a jet as it shakes in my dwelling. I like raging, ravaging, and screaming, and yelling. Sound of a fire engine headed for a fire. Emotions so high they can't get any higher. Going out of control, in and out of hand crowd. Oh, I like noise that's gotta be loud. Off quiet. Off quiet. Off quiet.
Happy Friday, everybody. It's Friday, June 20th, which means for the 20th day in a row, I watched a movie I've never seen before. And for the 20th day in a row, I am here talking about that movie to you and only you. Happy Friday, as I said. Today, I went back to another franchise, trilogy. I'm not sure what we have here. I don't know if there's talks for movies in the future, but I watched the third film in the A Quiet Place franchise, A Quiet Place Day 1, and it features a slew of movie month, I would say regulars, but repeat performers, including the director. The director, give me a moment here. I'm definitely not pulling up IMDb right now. The director is Michael Sarnowski. He also co-wrote this with John Krasinski and some guy named Brian Woods. But Michael Sarnowski, he is a previous movie month entry with the movie Pig, which is starring Nicolas Cage. Who else is in Pig? But Alex Wolff, who has been in such movie month movies as Hereditary, Old, Pig, and now A Quiet Place Day 1. Also featuring Jaimin Hunsu. What has he been in? Shazam. Shazam 2. The fun Shazam. The terrible Shazam 2. The Kingsman. Not Kingsman or Kingsman 2, the second Kingsman, but the third Kingsman, The Kingsman, and A Quiet Place 2. And I didn't even make that connection. It's been years. A Quiet Place 2 came out in 2020. I watched it in 2022. So it should be somewhat fresh in my mind. And when I realized, oh my goodness, he was in that one too. He's playing the same character here, because I thought to myself, why is Jaimin Hunsu in this for like 10 seconds? It didn't make any sense. And maybe we'll follow his character in the future. I'm doubting myself, but he whatever role he plays in the second one, it starts here. There's not a coincidence that he's in both movies. He didn't have a name in the first one. They said Man on Island, at least according to IMDb, and he's Henry or Henri in this one. And he's only there for a little bit at the beginning, or a little bit after the big reveal, the big dun dun dun, and then he's at the very end, kind of with a bunch of survivors who I guess end up at the island. So okay, that gives me a good feeling about Eric's character. So who is Eric? Eric is played by a first time in the movie month project, Joseph Quinn, but he's not a first timer for fans not experts, because I've discussed Joseph Quinn, multiple times as Eddie Munson in Stranger Things. And I have a feeling that Joseph Quinn will come up again next year for movie month, maybe even day 1, or should it be day 4? And, of course, the major star of the film, the star, Lupita Nyong'o, who has been in such movie month movies as Black Panther and Black Panther Wakanda Forever. It looks like those are the only two that she has been in. If you aren't familiar with A Quiet Place, aliens. That's really what it is. Aliens who work on sound and sound alone. So the movie is very quiet as far as the people trying to be quiet. It's also very light on dialogue. But you realize you could whisper. You can kind of whisper like this. And it's not that, you're probably going to be okay. But don't accidentally make noise. So in the first Quiet Place, we're already in this world, where we meet this family on a farm, and we find out why they live this way. We find out why they're constantly being quiet, why they're doing sign language. And even though they probably could have just whispered and everyone's here, we find out that there's aliens or monsters. I don't even know if we knew they were aliens, but monsters who attack based on sound. They will come at you. If they hear you, they will find you, and they will kill you. The second one, we get sort of a day 1 flashback to John Krasinski's character and Emily Blunt's character. Now, John Krasinski, spoiler, dies at the end of the first one. And so the second one is Emily Blunt, their real-life husband and wife, Emily Blunt, and the 2 kids going on their adventure. And I think they end up at an island with Jaimin Hunsu. And didn't the island end up not going so well? I forget. It's been a while. But now we're going all the way back to the beginning, which I think they said takes place 2 years before A Quiet Place. So it's not so old that they should just have flip phones. They should be smartphones. Were they? I think they were. But there was an iPod. I thought, oh, wow, this really dates it. But I realized, no, it shouldn't be that old. What's crazy is I just edited around a yawn. Here's what's even crazier. It's 2:27 p.m. Okay, I worked a half day today on a Friday. I had to help my mother with some Wi-Fi. My mother-in-law. My mother, I'll help her. I'll help them both. But when I have to go help my mother-in-law, then I'm like, it becomes a whole thing, but it's fine. Don't worry about it. But she wasn't there, so I raced down to her house to help her with a Wi-Fi extender. She showed up. She's asking questions and making sure the Wi-Fi's working, and it was. I got it to work. My brother couldn't set it up. So call in the genius. And there I was, swooping in to save the day. So I watched the movie, most of it before work. I watched the last half an hour just now. So I really shouldn't be yawning at 2:30 p.m., but here I am. So we start off, the world's fine. But we meet a character. What the heck's her name? I don't even know her name in the movie. Samira. And we come to find out she's in hospice. It's, she's around mostly older people. And there is a counselor played by Alex Wolff, who why am I yawning so much? This is disgusting. Who, when I think of Alex Wolff, I think of a kid. And, Hereditary is already how many years old? I mean, it's a few years old. It's 7 years old. So if he's supposedly 18, when was it Panem? Hail Panem! When, if you've seen the movie, you know. So he's a young adult now. He's got a full beard. I was like, that guy kind of looks like him, but that can't be. Oh, that is him. He's a grown man. He plays a counselor, nurse, and he is friendly with Lupita. Lupita's character, Samira. They're like, we're going into the city. She's like, great. So she takes them in. Well, I don't know if she wasn't great, but she's like, I want to get pizza. Her big thing is, I got to get pizza. We see her, dealing with medication. We see her. She has a cat she loves. The cat's kind of the star of the movie. She goes and ends up in a puppet theater, a marionette theater, which actually was a quite moving little performance by a marionette puppeteer. She holds her cat in front of her. A little kid turns around, and we meet the little kid's parents, and one of them is Jaimin Hunsu. Boom, there's your connection right there. I didn't. Quiet heads would have figured that out. Hey, there he is. But I was just like, oh, cool. He's there. I like this actor. He's always good. Oh, my goodness gracious. So she goes outside to get some air. At one point, they're heading in, I think, to the city. And we just get like these nice, beautiful shots of the Brooklyn Bridge. I think, the George Washington. I don't know which one it was. All these nice shots of skyscrapers. And then you see like some air fighter pilots flying through them. Like, that was a cool little subtle thing. When she's inside, all of a sudden you see like police cars go by. Then you see military vans. You're like, oh, here it goes. Here we go. She goes outside and people start looking up. It's like, what's going on? And you just see these fires falling from the sky. Now, you don't know. Is this a meteor shower? Is this, the second coming? Is this an attack from another country? Nope, it's giant alien monsters. And pretty quickly, they find out that these aliens are affected by sound. So what I don't understand is why all these people got together in groups. Now let's put this to the test. I'm very quiet. I'm with a group of 40 people, and we're all being as quiet as possible. But that's 40 other people who has a chance of going, ahem, or sneeze, achoo, father of a sneeze. Some people might get that reference. Or is it, I'm a sneeze, father of a chew? Robin Hood Men in Tights. Boom. I can't believe I quoted that in A Quiet Place, day one. But the more people you have together, the more chance you have of someone screwing up. So at one point, there's all this group. They're like, make your way to the river. Make your way here. And all these people are going together. And I'm thinking, why would you do that? Let them go. Wait it out. And then go quietly by yourself. I could go through a day and being as quiet as possible. Give me headphones. Boom, good to go. And she is just going the opposite direction. Now, here's the thing with her. She knows she doesn't have long for the world. So she just wants to get that goddamn slice of pizza from, is it Patsy's? She just wants that slice, that slice of pie, as they might say in New York. So she's got to run from monsters here or there. Her cat runs off at one point, but the cat always comes back because the cat's the best. And at one point, boom, the cat's drinking water out of a flooded subway, and out of the water pops Joseph Quinn's character, which I thought was a cool kind of like reveal. Like, that's the character. Boom, jumps up, and he wanders around with the cat, and he finds Lupita, and they basically become friends. She's like, you go with everyone else. Leave me alone. But he stays with her. For some reason, he stays with her. He's afraid to be alone. He's afraid of the end of the world. I think he likes the cat. And he sees that maybe he sees also that she's in some need of help. So she stays. There's a thunderstorm at one point. Oh, they find out that the monsters are afraid of water. There's like these loudspeakers. Get near water. She finds these kids hiding under a fountain. I would have just stayed there. Stayed at the fountain the whole time. Never left. Just drink the fountain water a little bit here and there, and that's it. So when there's a thunderstorm, they use the thunder to break into her apartment. They use the thunder to scream to get a little emotion out. At one point, they there's some fun moments where they have to run from the monsters and they end up in a church, and they end up having he notices she's sick and doesn't have any meds, so he goes to a pharmacy and gets some meds for her. Of course, there's he's got to avoid monsters, and he's got the cat with him too. At another time, they finally make it to the pizza place, but it's all burnt down. So they find a jazz club, and they just they have some nice little character moments together. He goes to another place and gets pizza, pretty good. Now she knows she's dying. So they see out of this window this giant ship in the middle of the water that the monsters will not go near. Now, I thought maybe they could leap and make their way, but no, they don't go near it. And these two make their way to the ship, near the ship, and Lupita's gives her his coat, gives her his cat, and says, go. And she starts smashing windows and making the monsters run at her, and I thought, oh my goodness, she's sacrificing herself. Well, I think she thought she was going to sacrifice herself too, as he runs and almost gets attacked because he knocks something over, bringing the monsters back to him. He jumps in the water just in time with the cat and gets to the boat, and who's there? Jaimin Hunsu! And that means that Eric and the cat are safe too. Phew, I think. So the movie ends with her walking along the middle of the highway, and she's like, I'm so glad I came to the city. I forgot how alive it was. I love it. And she unplugs. She has a little radio that's hooked up to her iPod. That's what made it seem old. She had the old-fashioned iPod. She unplugs the headphones. The music starts playing, and she just seems at peace. And then a monster lands behind her, and that's when the film goes to black, and that's the end of the movie. It was like a small, big budget movie. That's how it felt, like a small blockbuster, because it ended up just being two characters. And, they both were really good at acting without having to say much. It was mostly expressive. And Joseph Quinn, man, he could turn on the waterworks, and it's like, I learned that as Eddie Munson. And Lupita too, she is so expressive with her eyes, and it was just the look on her. Good actors can act with incredible lines of dialogue, or they can act with no dialogue and just, physical expressions and mannerisms. And that's what these two did. So you get real dumb people being like, please help me. And they're being loud. I'm like, shut the hell up. So it's like dealing with other people. That's, I think, another reason why she wanted to be alone. It's like, I have a better, you always had a better chance to survive, I think, with less people, because every person is a variable that could screw up. And even on the boat, I'm like, well, where do they go from there? I guess they go to an island, right? I guess that answers our question. That goes to part 2. So that answers that. I was looking to see if there's, trivia on anything interesting, things that might have given us clues to the other movies. But I think Jaimin Hunsu, he's not so much as a clue as he's a character, and I didn't even make that connection. Overall, I quite enjoyed this movie. As I said, it was a big budget, small movie, because we're just dealing with two characters who are barely talking. And I talked about the character moments. I'm sorry, I don't know if you noticed a pause there. My wife just called. She was on her way home. So I said, I got to go. I'm finishing recording. You're in the way. I was like, do I answer? I could call her back and say, sorry, I was in the middle of podcasting, but it's kind of a dick move. So I answered. But I did say, I need to go. I need to finish. Because when she gets home, we want to go for a dog walk. So I'm like, I have to get my recording done. It's duty calls. I think I've covered everything I wanted to cover. I thought the cat was great, and I guess it was a real cat. And I guess John Krasinski handpicked the director because of the movie Pig with Alex Wolff. Alex Wolff, he's always good too. He's just a good actor. And wait a minute, wasn't he in the Jumanji movies too? So you know what? I realize he's in other movies that I've seen for Movie Month that I might not have tagged him in. So I think he plays the Rock character, or at least in one of them he plays the Rock character, because I know they switched places in that second one. I didn't mean to go all over the place here, but the point is, you get a good actor to be in movies that, are kind of a spectacle. I shouldn't say it's like it's a spectacle, but the monsters are a spectacle. The rest of it is just character driven. It really is, because you're just dealing with someone, and you're dealing with someone who is afraid to die. You know, that Joseph Quinn, his character's like, I don't want to die. Talking to a woman who is staring death in the face to the point where she knows, look, I'm not going to get to that boat. I'm not going to get on that boat. The only chance, none of this was said, but this is all, conjecture. I think I used that word right. Like, the only way you're going to get to that boat is if I help you. Take my cat, give my cat a good life. And she had that little note, like she left him a note, and he read it, and I welled up a little bit. I did. And then she does that walk at the end and just listens to her music. The fact of losing a cat or my dog, thinking of like giving my dog away so the dog could survive. Whew. Oh, I'm welling up right now. Bing, bang, boom. Ooh, it doesn't take much. I watched Train to Busan yesterday for another podcast. I watched it years ago for this show. But towards the end, I was like, I am crying. It's a zombie movie on a train, and I am crying. I guess I'm easily emotionally manipulated by film and the thought of anything with my dog. Whew, there I go again. So when she made sure the cat had a good life, or at least a chance at life, that was good. Very good. Ooh, I think I'm going to go now. Maybe my wife's here, so I should probably go, right? I know she's not home yet, but I'm trying to get out of here because I don't want to cry anymore on the podcast. So listen, that's it. I am done. I got a note the other day on Blue Sky. By the way, you can find me on all the socials at Geek Mentality, except for TikTok, which is Geek Mentality Mike. The Facebook page is Fans Not Experts. The YouTube channel is Fans Not Experts. That's because everything I do, all the podcasts, can be found at the internet website, fansnotexperts.com. So the other day I posted a which movie was it? I'm going back, and it was Now You See Me, and this guy that I follow, William Bruce West. If you're listening, hey William, he's listened to some episodes and not all of them based on the movies he's seen. But he said he wrote on Blue Sky, I want to take this opportunity to tell you I love that closing theme. I should have said closing theme song and then went right into that. But I love that closing theme song. And he's been popping around to the different episodes. So I just want to give a shout out to him, say thank you for the mention on the Blue Sky and for listening. Even if you don't listen to this, or maybe someday you'll listen to this, I want to officially give him a thank you. And I think that's it. I am done. I'll be back tomorrow. Tomorrow, Saturday, June 21st. I already know what the movie is. In fact, I think I know every movie now for the rest of the year. Some movies that I was definitely going to be watching are not on my list anymore. They've moved off. Maybe they'll never go on. Maybe they'll be on next year. They just kind of get bumped. They got bumped by new arrivals or things that I want to see. Day 30 should be locked into. I can't imagine it won't be what I think it's going to be. And we still have some other sequels that we've talked about, movies that I've talked about already. I only have 10 more after this. 20 days down, 10 days to go, and I think we know at least 3 of those based on movies I've seen, and movies I've discussed, and what I said I would definitely be watching. 1 more of them from one series, 2 more of them from another series. That's all I'll say. I'll be back tomorrow, but until then, thank you for listening. Thank you for subscribing, and William, thank you so much for liking my theme song.
This is my podcast, I made it. Geek Mentality's what I named it. And I think you should listen and subscribe, 'cause I'm kinda funny and awesome. I think that I'm worth your time, and I'm kinda handsome. My mom says, please listen and please subscribe. At least listen to this episode.
Fans Not Experts.